seen the generational thing comes up a lot when we talk about this and the impact that these new generations have brought in. What I always find interesting though is talking, and I'd love, anybody who's watching to jump in on the comments, is where does that come from? Because it's not that people have necessarily changed, right? This desire, this hunger for this has always existed. It's not like baby boomers didn't care and had no emotions and work was just work. It just, the environment has now changed, and I've seen the younger generations maybe pushing more of some of this stuff versus, it wasn't really socially acceptable, or maybe corporations. I'm not really sure where the separation existed before, but it definitely, I've seen a huge shift from an industry standpoint.
Sure. I mean, what I actually think has driven the shift is the transparency that technology has provided. We have social media platforms that have now allowed people to identify in many different communities that they are involved, like could be involved in. And there's a lot more open conversation because of the separation that technology provides from face-to-face communication. So I believe that that shift actually happened as technology has become more proficient in allowing us to connect with one another. I do agree that like the emotional things that drive the generations that I mentioned are things that drive us intrinsically, no matter what age we
Right.
are. But I think the adaptability, being a digital native, things like that, that have those tools that were inherently created to generate community, have created a different dialect between the generations. And I see in like most of our programs, I get asked the question all the time, are younger people only going to respond to gamification programs, for example? And it's across the board that it motivates every employee participant in some way or another, because what we're tapping into is that intrinsic motivation. We're developing it through the technology, but what we're tapping into is inherent.
Yeah.